35. Welcome to everyone today. Glad to have you here. We will have an invocation. Pastor Randy Curtis from the Southern Pines Seventh-day Adventist Church will lead the invocation, followed by Captain Bill Flint with the Moore County Sheriff's Department leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I now ask all of you who can stand, please do so.
Amen.
Amen.
Join me in the pledge to the flag of our country. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Vest, and thank you, Captain Flint. Before we move to our regular agenda, I will ask Ms. Graham, if you wish to make the statement.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I would like to first of all explain that local government is legally authorized to make any resolution, non-binding resolution. The resolution that is on our agenda today is a non-binding resolution that contains personal opinions of the commissioners. It does not require a hearing, although if a board wanted to have a hearing, they certainly could have a public hearing. However, in considering this pro-life resolution that's on our agenda, I think this board needs to remember that this resolution will be coming from at least 3 commissioners sitting up here on the board who will not be here when this matter is taken up in Raleigh next year. We also need to remember and consider that in presenting this resolution to those serving over in Raleigh, we currently have 2 House members who will no longer be serving in Raleigh at the beginning of next year. Given all that and the controversial nature of this issue, I believe any issue regarding this matter should come from a current sitting board with their personal opinions, and they should not be required to work with the legislature in Raleigh on personal opinions that may be presented by this board in the pending resolution on our agenda. Therefore, it is my motion, Mr. Chair, that this be removed from our agenda today.
Please, thank you for your enthusiasm, but let's all just be calm and respectful of everyone.
And Mr.
We have
Chair,
a motion.
If I may, I would just like to state that does not change my personal opinion that's on the resolution.
Thank you, Ms. Graham, for your motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Ritter with a second. Any comments? If there are no comments, your vote, sir. Mr. Ritter? Mr. Dakey first.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Ms. Graham?
Aye.
Mr. Paserno?
No.
Quiss is an aye. Okay. So, moving to public comment.
And just let me know, so that motion carries 4-1, and that item will be removed from the agenda.
Correct.
For the record. Right.
Thank you. Now, we will now move to the, excuse me, please. We're going to now move to public comment, and those who have signed up will have an opportunity to come forward and state their name, address, and give us their thoughts. We do have a number of people who've signed up, 24 to be exact, and we have a 30-minute time limit on public speaking. So if those who choose not to use your full 3 minutes will then allow others who are signed up, we can get more speakers in today. So Ms. Williams is going to be watching the clock, and I just hope it's clear to everyone that the shorter your comments, the more people will be heard from today. But we are going to limit it, as we do each meeting, to 30 minutes. So, Ms. Ms. Williams, if you would please call the first speaker.
Ellie Collins.
Chairman Quist, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to let me speak. I appreciate it. My name is Ellie Collins, and I reside on Driftwood Circle in Southern Pines. I'm here today because for the life of me, I cannot fathom why Commissioner Picerno made a request for approval of a pro-life, or as I call it, a forced birth resolution. Is this really the business of our county commissioners? Is this what we want our county attorneys spending time and money on? What about sticking to county business, of which there is so much? Why would the commissioner intentionally and needlessly bring up such a divisive and inflammatory issue? Why would he inflict his personal views on all the citizens of our beloved community? Why would our other commissioners join in this divisive act? Why would you make this resolution public on a Friday afternoon, although fairly well hidden deep in the agenda packet, to be followed by a Monday holiday and a Tuesday morning vote? I respectfully request that you remove this resolution from your agenda and get on with the real business of being more county commissioners. And I thank you for your earlier vote.
Please, it will give more people opportunity if we don't have applause or shouting or whatever. I know there's a lot of emotion attached to this matter, but let's all be calm and thoughtful. Ms. Williams, we're already cutting into your time.
The next speaker, first name is Virginia, last name begins with M. I cannot quite read it. Okay.
And who will be the next speaker so that they might want to make their way forward? Again, save time.
Vic Allen, and then Lois Eggers.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Virginia Minicello, and I'm a resident of Brinkley Road in Carthage. I've been here for 17 years, and I was rather shocked to read the paper and realize that this resolution was coming up. And I agree with Ellie that this is not necessary and unreasonable. And I just came with several questions, as Ellie did. What does it mean when a county declares itself pro-life? What are the implications? If we are pro-life, does that also mean we are against the death penalty? How is it determined that North Carolina, Moore County, needs a resolution? Was a survey of all citizens done? What will this mean for Moore County? If I am a pro-choice, does that preclude my being pro-life, or does it mean I am anti-life, which I am not? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Lois Eggers. I'm at 36 Burl Circle in Pinehurst. I am concerned about the proposed pro-life resolution. Does not delineate the total purpose, nor does it speak to the total effect on women's health. I am not a proponent of abortion. However, I wish to remind people that the procedure for that's being banned by many states is the same one, a D&C, dilation and curettage, women need for a miscarriage when a fetal heart is no longer beating, but the mom is bleeding because the uterus needs to expel the pregnancy. I personally have had 2 miscarriages, both at 10 weeks, between my 2 children. The doctor told me without a D&C I could possibly bleed for months. waiting for full expulsion. That means women would have a hard time continuing with their normal lives, careers, and raising their families, not to mention becoming anemic and possibly dying from infection or severe bleeding. Many times, most D&Cs are true medical necessities, not a choice. This resolution implies that the life of the fetus is more important and above that of the mom, that its nurturer, protector, and life giver is less important. That under no circumstances should the fetus be aborted. There are many medical circumstances where a pregnancy puts the mom's life in danger. This resolution does not address that or put one iota of thought into the mom's health care. It sounds as if it is all or nothing. It's an all or nothing situation in favor of the fetus. This would any of you on this panel really want your wife, daughter, granddaughter, or even a sister or sister-in-law, or any female loved one in any type to be put in this type of harm's way? I think not. The health care and well-being of the mom is totally being overlooked and is important. The issue of abortion is a difficult, multi-situational, multifaceted issue that should not be, that is a moral issue, and a medical one, but not one that is litigated, not one that should be litigated by politicians. And it should be a private decision between parents and doctors. I strongly urge you to please vote against this resolution as written and currently proposed. Why is the county getting involved?
We're trying to stick to a time limit, and you've exceeded yours.
I'm just about finished. This is already a state and a federal issue. Does this resolution have the weight of law in the county? Or is this a political party campaign payback resolution being proposed by one commissioner? Is this really what you want? For women to have no control over their own bodies?
Would you please sit down? We'll extend the time for that uncalled for extension of time. Mr. Allen.
Yes, my name is Vic Allen. I'm the shop teacher at Calvary Christian School, and I live at 410 South Bethesda Road, Southern Pines. God is the author of life. He's the giver of all life. We weren't here to correct God's mistakes. None of God's creation is a mistake. Whether or not you vote to have this resolution really doesn't matter at this point. The people's voices were heard. I've had the opportunity to meet new people in Moore County with like-mindedness about life, and it's been a true blessing to meet with those people. And we're building on this, and it isn't over. We cannot give this up. The bottom line about abortion, it's about responsibility. When the government takes over the responsibility for an individual, that individual loses liberty and freedom when he gives it to the government. And that's what abortion is. It's excusing behavior, irresponsible behavior, and the government excuses it. The next thing, why are student loans being forgiven? is that that's responsibility. Responsibility of taking care of your kids. If your kid can't read, which 50% of the kids in Moore County can't read to grade level, is that the school's fault or is that the parents' fault? It's the parents' fault if your kid can't read. So I say this abortion or this pro-life, it goes a lot deeper than just killing babies. It goes with personal responsibility, and that's what each and every one of us are tasked with, to enjoy the liberty and freedom that we enjoy in this county today. Thank you.
Please. Thank you, Mr. Allen. Next.
The next three speakers are Rebecca Roush, John Miziak, and Jim Peterson.
I appreciate the clarification of the ability of the commissioners to pass unbinding resolutions and of the pro-life agenda removal from today's agenda. However, the proposed pro-life resolution does not reflect my beliefs regarding a woman's right to choose what happens to her body, including an embryo or fetus inside of it. Therefore, it does not reflect the beliefs of all the citizens of Moore County, nor do you know if it reflects the opinion of most of the citizens of Moore County, since this resolution has not been put before its citizens in a meaningful and transparent way. I have been fortunate enough to not have been raped and become pregnant, or to have a pregnancy that seriously threatened my life, which I'm sorry, sir, I do not believe is a matter of my poor judgment, or good judgment for that matter. But my daughter is not yet past that point in her life. I want her to live in a place that would offer her the choice to save her life. I do not want to live in a county that does not value the life of a woman as much as they do that of an embryo or fetus she is carrying. In addition, I do not believe that your being elected as county commissioners gives you the right to speak for all of the citizens of Moore County and ask the state to pass legislation concerning reproductive rights when you haven't put the issue before the county for input in an open and transparent way. It is your responsibility to represent the people of your county, our county. I have lived, worked, paid taxes, owned property, and raised children in this county, Moore County, for 27 years. My voice should count. Thank you.
Mr. Miziak.
My name is John Miziak, and I live in Woodlake. I'm also running for a seat on the Moore County Board of Commissioners, as you know. I've been coming to these meetings for more than 6 years, and I know also that you have extended comment time in the past. Having said that, later in this meeting, it's going to be proposed that you increase county funding to support Partners in Progress, a county economic development partner. I fully support that measure. In light of that, why then would you propose a resolution put forth in item 8E of this agenda? Remember what happened when North Carolina enacted HB 2? Sporting events and businesses fled North Carolina. Fortunately, that misguided legislation was rescinded 1 year later, 1 year after its original adoption, and now North Carolina is ranked number 1 in the state, in all the states in the U.S. for business. I believe both presumptuous and cavalier of you to consider the resolution included in item 80 of your agenda today because of the potential to seriously adversely impact the business climate and economy here in Moore County, not to mention women's personal rights. Before giving consideration to such resolution, you should, as a minimum, put item 8E on a referendum for all Moore County voters to consider. After receiving voter input, then and only then should you formulate any resolution to forward to Raleigh for their consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miziak. Next, Mr. Peterson.
Hi, my name is James Peterson.
just want to say I'm really not surprised you voted to throw out the anti-baby murder resolution. And that's all abortion is baby murder. And 5 years from now, nobody's going to remember your names saying so-and-so voted for the nice new courthouse or the family farms. Everybody's going to remember who voted to throw out the baby murder resolution. Thanks.
Please, next.
The next three speakers are Robert Thiel, Charles Garrison, and Gail Garrison.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Robert Thiel. I live in Jackson Springs, North Carolina. I'm a retired anesthesiologist. Spent a lot of time on the labor deck over the years. I think this is a can of worms to get into for our county. I'm pro-choice, and I think we would be, as a county, just spinning our wheels, wasting our time with this. We've, I believe, much more important issues to deal with as a county than to deal with that subject. So I feel we should drop that issue and deal with more impending issues that we have here in the county. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Mr. Garrison.
My name is Charles Garrison. I'm the pastor of Calvary Memorial Church, and I brought my Constitution class here today, and I'm very glad I did because of what spectacle they were allowed to see. A few years ago, the Board of Commissioners in this county voted to put "In God We Trust" on the sheriff's cars and the EMS vehicles. And there was no controversy about this because the board was just confirming what Congress had already established as our national motto. This resolution, Commissioners, is absolutely no different. This resolution is a recognition of life, which the people and the Congress of the United States have already established in the Declaration of Independence, in the Constitution of this nation, and the Constitution of North Carolina. By removing this resolution, you have taken the path of politicians instead of the path of statesmen and stateswomen that is so desperately needed in this hour. You violated your oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. I had other things to say, but I say shame on y'all.
Who's next?
Gail Garrison. And then following will be Art Rembert and Ginger Derrick.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gail Garrison. I did not know that I was to be a speaker, but I would like to say that I live in Southern Pines. I'm the wife of Pastor Charles Garrison. I believe that life begins at conception based on the Word of God, and that has been left out here in these meetings. And I understand that people believe that there is to be separation of church and state, but that is the reason that we have many of the problems that we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Garrison.
Hi, for the record, my name is Ginger Derrick McDonald. I'm so special, I got an extra letter. It's MAC. I just wanted to say I raise my glass to the people who are pro-Moore County and who think that Moore County is the most beautiful county in North Carolina from the peach orchards of West End to the golf courses of Pinehurst and to the little chihuahuas that live in Eastwood. I thank you for what you did today, because there are other people that have dreams and aspirations of going on to fancier offices, and they want to make their bones and making Moore County an example of ignorance. And for me, that does not play. I could live anywhere I wanted to, but I moved to Moore County in 1997, and this is where I have my home. And the world may be going to hell in a handbasket, but not in my backyard. My community is beautiful. It is full of kind people, the haves and the have-nots. And if we create a little civil war in between neighbors, that's stupid. That is not going to cause our county to grow. We need to grow smartly. Do the people that were the county commissioners that built this atrocious-looking courthouse in the 1970s regret that decision? I think they probably do. I got sober in 2016. I've gotten so woke that I wanted to go back to sleep. But I thank you for putting your name on the ballot and seeing Miss Glendora and taking a stand and serving your community. And for the people that do that and have their constituents at heart, I salute you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And next.
My name is Art Rembert. I'm from Southern Pines, North Carolina. And I just was thinking that I came here in 1971. I was drafted in Fort Bragg, came here, and I've been in Moore County since 1971. You've heard me before. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm not. It was my daughter in 1977. We were in Chapel Hill, and our doctor suggested to us that we would abort my baby, and they thought it was the best thing. And of course, standing before the Lord, we decided that that wasn't acceptable, and so we had that child, and that child now is his mother adopted two boys. She was not supposed to have any children, and in I can't remember the year, but about 4 years ago, she got pregnant, and we were rejoicing because the Lord had allowed her to have a baby. And in the process, my daughter lost the baby, and but she was able to name it and know what it was. It was a female, a daughter. I had a granddaughter, and the Lord took them with him, and that was the choice. That was his choice. He allowed my daughter to come in this world, and the finish of that story, I told that story before, but the finish of that story is my daughter is now a nurse, and she works in the baby unit, and where they have babies and all, but that was the Lord's doing, and that's what we talk about. We talk about what it hurts us or what it has to do with us, but see, the Lord is in control of all this. The Lord is in control, and that's what we need to do, is we need to put it in his hands, and that's what we're doing right now. So I thank you for your time, and I just thank you that you make this decision for pro-life. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are Malcolm Hall, Bernice Hall, and Deborah Wilson.
Thank you. My name is Malcolm Hall, and for those of you who do not know me, I'm running for the North Carolina House seat for District 51, and I heard one of our other elected officials also give you his speech about what he was running for. I sent an email to all 5 commissioners, and when I spoke to the chair, he had not looked at his packet as of this morning, so I gave all of the chairs the same packet that I had emailed out. And I'm not going to go into everything because our distinguished chair, Ms. Graham, tabled it for now. But I will say this. I am advocating for the ability for health care along with professionals that we trust, and to make the best medical decisions for themselves and their families. This is pro-choice. You do not take choices away. We've come this far. Rights granted should never be rights lost. They have the right to make decisions that affect their families, their lives. We have to support our women. That's the bottom line. If you take this away from them, what do we take next? Do we go back to the slave days? Do we go back to where we have the women working in the fields pulling the cotton because the machines are broken? Where does it stop? This country needs to move forward. Not only does it need to go forward, the United States Supreme Court sent this bill back to the states to make a decision. I feel that this county commissioners do not have the purview to be making this decision. I also have in the packet the resolution. I'm not going to go into it piece by piece because I only have 3 minutes. There are so many errors in the way that's written. It's been pulled from the state constitution. You're talking about the Declaration of Independence, then you go back to the Constitution. They all don't mean the same. One supersedes the other. I suggest you go back and read those articles before we start signing on to these documents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Ms. Williams, how are we doing on time?
You mentioned extending it. There's about 5 more minutes without the extension for the one speaker.
Okay,
So.
5 minutes. Well, we can probably get 2 speakers in. But we have one more here. Okay.
I'm John Wilson. I'm reading this for Deborah Wilson. My name's on the list with her.
Okay, fine.
As a longtime resident of Moore County and a native of North Carolina, we're quite alarmed that the county commissioners have decided to present a resolution of this nature without consulting with your constituents. As you are aware, the North Carolina General Assembly has postponed activity on the current Dobbs Supreme Court decision until January 2023. For Moore County to try to preempt the State General Assembly is absurd and a true violation of your duty as representatives. If there is concern about the direction North Carolina may take regarding this issue, put it on the ballot in November and let your constituents determine the county's direction. This is an overreach and a direct diversion from your elected purpose. If you truly want to investigate needs in Moore County, you might look at water issues of many Cameron residents have no drinking water, or the fact that within the parameters of the county and city water systems, there are serious gaps in water availability, which have led to 2 costly fires on Young's Road due to lack of water source and serious impairment of land values. As a resident and small business owner in Moore County, we speak for the many that apparently have been forgotten or ignored. Please do not take your position as an elected official lightly. We assume the election in 2020 was fair without fraud and expect this board to reject any attempt to allow any group to overwrite our rights to decide. Thank you.
Dwight Creech.
This will be our last speaker. No.
10 after is 30 minutes.
My name is Dwight Creech. I'm the principal of Calvary Christian School in Southern Pines. This issue that we're talking about here in this forum is a watershed issue in our nation today. It's a watershed issue over the mind of God versus the mind of man. The fact that all men are created equal does not mean that every man's view is equally right. God defines freedom, that is right, as being His word. If you continue in my word, He said, then you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are issues defined by our Creator, not human opinion or pro-choice. Pro-choice is a threat to the life of the unborn. And I pray, God, that everybody in leadership position and everyone under the influence of leadership would understand this incredibly important thing, that we support the life of the unborn. Moore County should be a pro-life sanctuary. We need to take the side of the Creator God in whom we trust, and not exercise practical atheism by denying His word. That is a huge mistake. Thank you very much.
That's it. That concludes the public comment for today. There are no additional agenda items. I would like to recognize the two classes from Calvary Christian School, the shop class and Pastor Garrison's class. Thank you all for coming. We'll take a 2-3 minute break here for those who wish to leave.